That's a great rule right there.
Hell yeah.
It's a little, I mean.
Did they talk about eye pokes or anything like that?
I don't think so. They did talk about clavicle grabs.
Yes.
Grabbing the collar.
God, that used to be illegal.
Really think that you could do that.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a guy say that he could do that. Oh, just hit somebody in the collarbone. Please do.
Try that.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please try to donkey
Like kick
punch.
him in the knee. Like, I just kick him in the knee.
The
like,
collarbone, though, is the dumbest. Like, do you really think it's that easy?
Yeah.
Just going to hit someone on their collarbone? That thing collapses.
But kick him in the knee is more popular, right?
Yeah.
Like, dudes, they think they could just kick you in the knee and then they're going to, like, immobilize you.
To your weight point, a guy who could really benefit from that is Chris Weidman. Him at light heavyweight. He should be a light heavyweight, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jon Jones should be a heavyweight then. You know, Jon Jones fought Dan Henderson in that grappling match. He was 238 pounds.
I mean, he murked Dan Henderson.
Louises. What a beautiful takedown. Did you see his takedown?
Yep.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Good
He
God.
shot in, and Gary Tonin hit that very same takedown, but unsuccessfully on his opponent.
Kim Terra.
In a grappling match right after that.
I think
John's a gorilla.
I think
He's so
Weidman is
big.
going to go to light heavyweight.
John is so big for light heavyweight, man. He's so fucking physically talented, too.
What is it? It's a fake single, and then you kind of like duck under and get the clinch.
Yep.
Is that what that was?
And the way John did it was just, it was so glorious. When you watch how quickly he covered ground, you realize like how fucking talented he is, man.
Oh, you know what? I don't even think it's up on the internet either. I think
it is. You can watch it.
You can watch
Yeah, I
that.
watched it. You could watch the takedown and you can watch the finish. I don't think you watch the whole fight.
And now I think are they going to do John versus Chael now? Because John got on the mic and was like, yeah, I want to fight you, Chael. Now.
I think they are going to probably do something like that. Like Chael will go in there and get smushed for a paycheck.
ratings.
John is just too big and too good. He's so talented, man. He's winning jiu-jitsu tournaments like as a goof. He's stepping into them and grappling with people and strangling them.
I would love to see him go with like a Gary Tonin or with like a real
100%.
jiu-jitsu
Or
guy.
Felipe
100%.
Peña.
Yeah.
Or that guy's an
Buchecha,
animal.
like a Buchecha or
But
something
let me
like
tell you
that.
something, man. What John said when he was on my podcast, he goes, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. He goes, I'm obsessed with it. He goes, I'm training it all the time. He goes, now I'm not going to be standing in front of people trading anymore. He goes, fuck that. He's like, I'm going to be taking people down and choking the shit out of them.
He said that?
Yeah. It was hilarious. I was
interesting.
like, he's so talented as a grappler.
He can do whatever he
Like
wants.
on some other planet.
Yeah. It was a nice pass, too. He took him down, and then it was a nice pass. That arm triangle was
Jon
textbook.
Jones might be pulling guard on people and armbar
He
him
already
in the
did.
future.
He pulled guard in
Daniel
the
Cormier.
UFC.
On Daniel
true.
Cormier, after he was beating him most of
Yeah,
the
he
fight.
was up, yeah.
But he might be pulling guard on people and armbarring them in the future.
He's also
So
a guy
talented.
who could do, and even to a bigger level, be the light heavyweight champ and heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
I think if he could do that.
he
He
could
could
do
get
it.
so much more notoriety than Conor.
Could he
at
take
light-
the Abu Dhabi Absolute as well? Maybe.
He might be. Well, look, man, you occasionally get a guy that's just so incredibly talented. You go, well, it's really all about focus. It's about like if you watch him. You've seen it. The Dan Henderson match. Dan Henderson's totally undersized. They're not nearly in the same weight class.
Dan Henderson's really not going all out either,
right.
is he?
But it's effortless.
Yes.
I mean, you watch how he does it. You're like,
What do you mean? You
Jesus.
think Dan Henderson was going light?
I just think Dan was
It
like...
was a match.
Yeah,
It was competition.
Yeah, but it's Dan
Okay,
Henderson.
let's watch this here. Here it goes. Because this is suspended UFC fighter Jon Jones. What does it say? Fought Dan Henderson at underground event. And John started off on his knees and just crawled forward. And you see Dan like putting his hand on his head. And John,
underground
it's just,
event.
But
That
look
was a
at how
nice
he
spin.
closes in on
God.
him, man. He's
Underground.
like, John is like, he's like unstoppable the way he's
He's got that
closing in
Gracie
on him.
Baja
Dude,
flag
he's
on his
so
shorts.
strong,
Yeah.
too.
He's what I'm saying is like the way he's moving in on him, it's almost like unavoidable. It's like this is going to be a mauling. You know, this is not going to be like what he did with Chael Sonnen when he grabbed Chael and took him down and just slammed him on
You
the
can't
ground.
be
So
undersized and compete with John. Like,
No.
look at the guys that have given him issues. Like Gustafsson, he's his same size. Those are the only time he really has issues.
Vitor gave him some issues. But
Vitor caught him in that armbar, then got dealt with.
Yes.
He submitted Vitor.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But when Vitor caught him in that armbar, that was like really the first time we'd seen him ever in trouble inside the octagon.
He's human. They said,
Yeah.
get out of here. Then
So this
submitted
is
him.
mostly John just pushing him up against the cage. Then he let him go. Oh, he threw a jab at him. What the fuck is that about? He's joking
They're
around.
laughing.
Well, he didn't really throw a jab. Like
Oh,
he
well.
pretended he was going to do a spinning elbow. Oh, he's just clowning around.
I think
on him.
Rockhold wants to do it too. John Jones versus Rockhold.
That's right. Rockhold did say that. Let's see the take. Well, how long did the match go?
I don't remember. But
The takedown was the ridiculous thing. Let's see if you can find that in there.
See, now this is worth it, Eddie, just to make money. Because no head trauma. If you lose, it's whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is a totally different thing.
Yes.
I really wish that this there it is.
Woo!
Boom. Gets him down and right into side control. I really wish that this was a viable option in terms of like financial success. I really wish that there was a
Maybe
way.
one day.
I think your event has the best chance of doing it. I really do. I think if your event, people watch it and get behind it, it has a real possibility. Because it's fucking exciting as shit, and people will pay money to see it.
Especially
I'm
when
flying to Vegas
caliber
tomorrow.
of these guys are doing
I'm
it.
flying to Vegas tomorrow, meeting with UFC Fight Pass. They got great numbers. EBI 10. They said the numbers were staggering, and they want to get behind it and go crazy.
It's
Beautiful.
the best thing on
That's what I'm
there,
talking
sir.
about, Eddie. Look at this. This is totally possible. You could be the Don King of chokes. Look at this.
no.
Look at
Be
this
the Don
fucking
King of chokes.
Look at this. Just you and Eddie. You were saying that you oftentimes will stay in the mount.
Yeah, I
here.
stay in
You don't.
3/4 mount, butter mount. That's
But
the
do you
best
stay?
spot.
Do you ever stay in full mount?
Full mount too. Only because the rise of leg lockers, deadly leg lockers that hit a leg lock transition when they're mounted. So if you let them get their hips up, I always stay in 3/4. The only time I'm doing a full mount is if I'm in skydive. If I got my hips down and my ankles crossed and then I'm hunting for an underhook, but I'll never just sit there in regular mount because everybody now has got that mount escape to leg locks that it could just turn everything around. It could be over.
Saying
So-
push on the hips and get the
so-
legs
Well,
out.
also those ridiculously flexible guys that get those legs in play, like Eddie's dexterity. Your dexterity.
That's always been my main
Yeah.
escape too, is using my flexibility when someone mounts
Right.
me, and that takes me into leg locks. And that used to be the only heel hook I had in my game was off being mounted, and then I would use a Hail Mary escape, C cups in the armpits, cross my feet in front of their stomach, overhook a leg, and then take them right to just good old fashioned outside heel hook. That was my #1 escape. And that's just too dangerous. Now guys have taken that escape and added 1,000 more leg lock transitions off it. And at that, I actually had a guy come to my gym maybe 4 or 5 years ago, a purple belt from Henzo's. And he was super flexible. I walk onto the mat, and he's sitting there. Walk into class, he's got both legs behind his head. I don't know who this guy is. He's sitting on my mats. He's sitting on my mats. I'm like, how you doing? He's just like looking at me. He wanted to show me how flexible he was. He's way more flexible than I am.
Damn.
Way more. I can't cross my feet behind my head. And we rolled, and I mounted him quite easily, but I didn't know it was a trick. He let me mount him, and then his flexibility, and I was low. I was super low, but he would grab his feet and just put it in the little crack, and inch by inch, he would stick his foot in. I'm laying flat on him, and then he would get through, boom, right into a leg lock, and he tapped me. I'm like, holy shit. So we went again, and I mounted him again. I said, I shouldn't have mounted him. You know, there's some guys like, you just don't fucking mount these guys. You take them to the truck. Yeah. So I mounted him, and I was super tight, just clenching tight. And he just grabbed his foot and just put it right there, just would hold it right in between our rib cages. And he couldn't get in initially, but inch by inch, he would just hold his foot.
Crazy.
And it was like he was jailbreaking to that mount escape.
Wow.
And
so is that just
again,
crazy
he
flexibility?
got me again, tapped me again, and I thought from that point on, I go, I can't ever. I always got to make sure that I roll with people and assume everyone can do that.
Doesn't Sean Bollinger have that kind of ridiculous flexibility and dexterity?
You got to assume everyone's that good.
Yeah.
So at that point, it altered my mount a lot. Like with the arm triangles, I just stay in the mount.
So you have to assume that everybody's at the death level.
Has that?
Yes.
Why not, right?
Yes.
Because if it works on them, then it works on everybody.
Fucked me up with it.
Yeah.